TorahCafe.com.
I always like to say that God is gender neutral. And the terms that we use to refer to God they're all borrowed terminology. Anything that we ever use to describe anything about God is all borrowed terminology. And so the male or female pronouns or usage of calling God, referring to God as a male, is all borrowed terminology. So the way it kind of goes is in creation, there's giver and receiver, right? So there's God who is giving, and creation that is receiving. There is the same thing, male and female, right? The male, just the nature of the anatomy of the male is as giver, and female is the receiver in the physical anatomy. And so when we're referring to God as giver, when we're asking God to bless us, to give to us, we refer to God in he, or as a king. When it comes to referring to God's presence in creation, sort of God on the receiving end, or being a part of the receiving end, we refer to God with feminine terms like Shekhinah. The divine presence is something that is a feminine term. And so God is neither nor. God is not a male or a female. All of the terms that we use are just borrowed terminology to sort of reflect the vantage point of how we're addressing God. When God is giver, and when God is bestowing upon us commandments, so God is the pronoun that's used, the terminology that was used would be male. God is being giver, so we use male terminology. He's the giver of the Torah. He is the bestower of commandments. He's the bestower of blessings. In our prayer book, oftentimes the predominant way in which we address God is as a male, as he, as king. But we're asking God to bestow upon us blessing, and as when we refer to God as the bestower, as the giver, we use male terminology. Female terminology would be when we're talking about God's presence permeating the world, and truth be told, anytime when we talk about spiritual things that are as they are on planet Earth, from the vantage point of creation, it's a feminine term. So neshama, for example, which is a piece of God, a soul, a piece of God within each and every one of us. But here, on the creation standpoint, the word neshama is female. It has feminine connotations to it. So it's really borrowed terminology depending on whether we're talking about God as bestower and giver, or godliness on the receiving end, the creation.